Let's now take you to that story in Addis Ababa that has every single person talking. U.S. President Barack Obama concluded his trip to Africa with a hard-hitting address at the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa. Obama told African leaders to respect their country's constitution and step down when their terms end. Singling out Burundi, Obama said no one is above the law and no one should be president for life. The 5-day trip to Africa by U.S. President Barack Obama was one of several firsts. The first visit by a sitting U.S. president to Kenya, the first visit by a U.S. president to Ethiopia, and the first address by a U.S. president to the African Union at its headquarters in Addis Ababa. And it was that rare Tuesday address to the AU's 54 member states that may not go down well with some African leaders.
Africa's democratic progress is also at risk when leaders refuse to step aside when their terms end. Now, when a leader tries to change the rules in the middle of the game just to stay in office, it risks instability and strife, as we've seen in Burundi. And this is often just the first step down a perilous path.
A week ago, Burundian President Pierre Nkurunziza was elected for a third term amid controversy over whether or not he was eligible to run for a third term. Several African leaders have been in power for years. Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe has been in power for 35 years, initially as Prime Minister before being elected President in 1987. Across the border from Kenya, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has been president for 29 years.
And just as the African Union has condemned coups and illegitimate transfers of power, the AU's authority and strong voice can also help the people of Africa ensure that their leaders abide by term limits and their constitutions. Nobody should be president for life. And your country's better off if you have new blood and new ideas.
Obama wants African leaders to respect their constitutions and step down when their terms end.
I love my work. But under our Constitution, I cannot run again. I can't run again. I actually think I'm a pretty good president. I think if I ran, I could win. But I can't. So there's a lot that I'd like to do to keep America moving, but the law is the law. And no one person is above the law, not even the president.
The issue of corruption was also on Obama's agenda at the AU, with a challenge to leaders on the continent.
Nothing will unlock Africa's economic potential more than ending the cancer of corruption. And you are right that it is not just a problem of Africa, it is a problem of those who do business with Africa. It is not unique to Africa. Corruption exists all over the world, including in the United States. But here in Africa, corruption drains billions of dollars from economies that can't afford to lose billions of dollars.
Terming Africa as the cradle of mankind and a continent on the move, the U.S. president challenged leaders to embrace democracy and respect human rights.
And I have to proclaim, democracy is not just formal elections. You know, when journalists are put behind bars for doing their jobs, or activists are threatened as governments crack down on civil society, then you may have democracy in name but not in substance.
The speech at the AU concluded Obama's historic trip to Africa. His sentiments may be rubbished by the longest-serving African leaders and will no doubt provide fodder for political pundits. Rita Tinina, KTN News.